What is going on, everybody? You already know it is Thursday night. It is 6 p.m. It is the NFL Weekly Talk. My name is Paul Spencer, and you know what? I got to switch that over because I am not Dan Connor. That is Dan Connor tonight. What's going on, Dan? Dan, you're muted. Mute.
What's up, everybody? What's going on?
What's going on, brother? How you feeling?
Pretty good, pretty good. You know, interesting week of free agency.
Yeah.
Some teams
Wow.
have answers in some positions, some people do not. So it's
Yeah.
been very interesting so far.
Well, real quick, Dan, a couple seconds here. How's your team doing in free agency? I mean, finally, the Dallas Cowboy has money, Dan, but we're
Not
going
not
out
bad,
and
not
doing
bad.
some
I
bar.
like I like so I like some I like the Adebo signing for us.
Mhm.
I like the Javon Holland signing. I thought some of the signs were pretty good. I thought we'd have a quarterback by now, but we don't know that. We're still, just sailing along
Eh,
seven seas, hoping we get an answer sometime.
I just hope
The
you're not like
Giants
the.
fan, anyway.
I just hope you're not like the Titanic and just go out there and just hit an iceberg, Dan. Because I mean, Dallas has the money, but
I think
brother,
we've already hit an iceberg, many of them. Since the
I mean, Dan,
Giants organization, I think they've hit many icebergs in a row. Yeah,
I feel the same way as my team, Dan. We finally got money, and we ain't spending anything. We're going bargain basement hunting. That's what we're doing. Taking this
that's
guy
where
for
they
a
at.
million,
You got to
that guy
lock up
for a million.
your real good
Yeah.
players, and you're not going to be able to do much.
No, I mean all that thing. I think all the money we're saving is for the Micah Parsons big contract coming up. For this year.
Yeah,
Then
exactly.
hopefully we'll see what happens. But we've been going around the league, Dan. I mean, last week we did the what did we do? AFC East last week. Talk Buffalo, Jets, Miami, and the Patriots. We're going to flip it over this week to the NFC side of the ball. So, Dan, we're going to go NFC North here. But I'll tell you what, Dan, this division, man. Wow. I mean, two teams were what, almost 13-4 last year, and then he had Green Bay in the playoffs as well.
Yep.
Chicago was still rebuilding, with the rookie QB. But Dan, but overall, how did you see the NFC North last year? In your opinion, were they the best division? I mean, I understand, Dan, we had two
They're not,
teams get
if,
there, but
if not the best, one of the best divisions in all of football.
agree, agree.
Last season, I thought you didn't expect much from the Bears, but they have a rookie quarterback. They're rebuilding.
Yeah.
But I thought the Lions had an excellent season. Obviously they had done the playoffs.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
The Vikings had a really good season. Darnold had a hell of a season with them,
Yeah.
which you didn't expect. And the Packers had a good season. A little rough, a little bit, but they all had a really good season.
Yeah, and the thing was too,
Real good
right?
division.
Jordan Love missed a couple games too. The back
Yeah,
half of the season, he missed a couple games, which hell, they could have had a better seating in the playoffs, Dan. But when you have three teams that are in the playoffs, that's pretty good because you're basically beating up on your own selves here. But you know, we'll go through all
yeah.
the teams, but real quick, who was your MVP of the NFC North last year? I honestly, I think it was Darnold. Even
Probably
though,
Darnold.
yeah, even though he
Probably
had a bad
Darnold.
last game, Dan. I mean, he had the last game of the playoffs. It was a bad game. I mean, he looked like he started seeing ghosts again. But I honestly think he was my MVP because I didn't know what I was getting with Sam Darnold, Dan. You know what I mean? Coming in that team.
No, you definitely did. He's definitely one of the best players in the division. He's one of the
Hmm.
reasons they went as far, but not in the playoffs. They really did, did do as well in the playoffs, but that happens sometimes.
Agree.
From Darnold, I think that's kind of what you expected.
Yeah, yeah. Hey, I mean, listen, we'll talk about his team, but he played his ass off last year. But I tell you what, he got a contract, Dan, which we'll talk about in a
Oh
little
yeah,
bit when we get to that team. But Eddie checking in, he says, Paul, Danny, what's going on, Eddie?
up Eddie.
Uh, he says Rodgers should sit and wait to see if the playoff contender loses the starting quarterback. To me, I wouldn't pick him up because of the fact that
Yeah, I don't know.
I want you to sign. Just like Cam Hayward said with the Pittsburgh Steelers, Dan. I want to know what the fuck you're doing. If you're going to sign with us, sign with us.
Yeah,
If you're
just
not,
let
move
us
on.
know.
Let us know.
Yeah,
That's bullshit, Dan. I can't stand a deal like that. To me, my words would be like, you know what? There's the door. Don't let the door hit you in the ass. Go back to your house, sit in the darkness, and meditate because we don't want you. You know what I mean? That would be
yeah, that's
me.
all I want to know. Just let me know what direction you're heading in. What's up,
Exactly.
Eileen?
Eileen, hey, Eileen, how you doing? Eddie said it was the toughest division. I agree 100%. Brian Flores was the okay.
Brian
I mean,
Flores made a big impact as well. I mean,
he did. He did. Yes, he did.
they
He
made a
did.
big impact. They played well. Their defense played well.
Hmm.
No, he was
Making a bunch of
definitely
no
good for
names.
them.
Yeah, making a bunch of no names into a great defense. I mean,
I'm not
yeah, I mean,
surprised at that. They had a good defense before that, though. You remember
mhm.
in the years of Zimmer, they always had a solid defense. Their
Oh
defense
yeah,
was never horrible.
never, never. But I gotta give it a lot of credit to Kevin Connell too. I mean, the way he runs that offense, because I mean, even though you have Justin
Yeah,
Jefferson, great wide receivers, you still put the ball in Sam Darnold's hand, and
and Hawkinson,
yeah,
Addison,
and he
no,
built around him. He built around Sam Darnold, to go with what he plays the best of. So it worked out until the last game of season. But Dan, let's talk about the bottom feeder of the NFC North here. I just want to ask you this real quick, Dan. If you had a do-over and you were the Bears in the draft, would you have made the choice Jaden Daniels over Caleb Williams? What would you have done now that you see what Caleb Williams and Jaden Daniels did last year?
I would take a
Would you?
Jaden Daniels all the way because I always thought Daniels was a better
Yes,
prospect.
agree,
Not to
agree.
say that Williams isn't talented. I thought Daniels was the more polished guy.
I agree. I
But
agree. I mean, 100%, 100%. I mean, you can only wish for what you could have done in a draft, but Dan, we thought about him. We said, man, Jaden Daniels is the real deal. He's better than Caleb Williams here. You got to take him. You know, he's a great quarterback. He has mobility. He's a strong arm. He reads defenses. But getting to the Bears here, Dan, how do we feel about last year, Dan? I mean, Caleb Williams' rookie
I thought
year.
he did well, 3,500 yards, 20 touchdowns, picks. It's not
Yeah.
a bad season at all, to be honest.
Agree.
He had
Agree.
489 rushing yards and uh, but still, I think he had a good solid year.
hmm I
I
mean, what do
think
you think? What do you think his downfall was, Dan? Because I mean, listen, how many times did he get sacked, Dan? Do you have that stat there?
68.
Oh my God, 68 times, Dan. I
Yep.
mean, as a rookie QB, Dan, you're
And
in
he
the
probably
league.
took like 25, 30% of those easily.
Oh yeah, I mean, a lot of them
Or
were
ran
not even.
into a lot of them.
Yeah, a lot of them weren't coverage sacks, Dan. It was just a dumb bonehead mistake, climbing the
68
pocket.
sacks.
But Dan, 68 sacks. Okay, you're at USC. You didn't get sacked 68 times in 3 freaking years, 2 years at
Nope.
USC. You come to the NFL, you get 68 sacks on you in the first year, Dan. That plays a little bit in your mind, Dan. Like, okay, I can't be getting hit. I got to do this. I got to do that. But
Tells me they just did a better offensive line as well. Like, geez.
yeah, which we will talk about. I mean, they did a lot of movement this year, Dan. Their offensive line did a lot of boostering this year, of course. But going there, DeAndre Swift, I thought that was going to be a huge pickup. And then with DJ Moore, Romo Duzier last year, I thought it was going to be something very special to watch, Dan. But you
DJ
can't
Swift had
protect
an
your
all right
quarterback.
season, but they
Well,
need to protect the quarterback. And
exactly. Yeah.
Mendoza had a solid year. He didn't have a great year,
Right. I
but
mean,
he
for
had
a
a
rookie,
solid
yeah.
year.
Yeah, for a rookie, he did, very well. I like that. I think he played really good there. But just as you said, Dan, you can't do much when your quarterback's getting hit 68 times in a year.
And I
You know what I
like their
mean?
weapons. I
Yeah.
like Moore. I like Allen. I like Aduzi. I like Komet.
hmm
DeAndre
Agree.
Swift is a running back. He's older. I like him, but
hmm
I mean they have some nice weapons.
Yeah, exactly. Eddie agrees most of the Caleb sacks were on his
He
own
probably
fault.
he probably tried to run when he shouldn't have, or tried to run.
hmm
Play hero ball, the ball too long, and it's got 68's a lot.
Yeah,
No way
and
there was just where he dropped back and got sacked
100%. And the
all
biggest
day.
thing, Dan, is when you watch, Jaden Daniels, even a Drake May, Dan. They can both run the ball. All three quarterbacks can run the
So
ball.
Drake May got sacked 68 times.
Yeah, I'm not saying much on that one.
Allen, Daniels didn't. He didn't.
Yeah,
I don't think even Bo Nix got sacked that many
no.
times.
But the thing is, like with these other quarterbacks, the first thing they do, Dan, they read progression. One's not there, two's
And they
not there.
run. Yep.
They still, well, like Caleb Williams, after the first progression, his eyes are automatically down, not downfield, but down on the field, looking down to run the ball. Look how many times Jaden Daniels, just scrambled out of the pocket and kept his head up and just threw the ball downfield. Caleb Williams has to learn that, Dan. He has to learn that.
Yeah, he just has to be a little bit better, but 20 touchdowns, 6 picks is not bad.
That's not bad. I
That's
thought
not
he had a
bad.
lot more.
3,500 yards. He could
Mhm.
definitely play a lot better.
Yeah.
If he could get 1,000 more yards, 30 touchdowns,
Mhm.
35, 12 picks, that's
Mhm.
where we want him to be, I think.
Agree. Agree. I mean, how do you feel last year? What do you put it on, Dan? Do you put it on, to me, I'm going to go offensive line. The numbers that you said weren't
I
that
would
bad,
say
Dan.
so, yeah.
You know, 68 times your rookie year. The biggest thing is, Dan, you got to go out and protect your rookie quarterback no matter what year it is in the league.
They average
You got to
4 yards
protect
a
him.
carry as a team running the ball.
Okay. Okay.
It's not terrible, but I'd say offensive line, but also Caleb Williams had some inexperience. You know, he didn't have
Hmm.
some good games early on.
Hmm.
Um, but for a rookie year, I think that's good. I think Daniels is a better quarterback. That's all.
Agree. 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 I mean, going from last year, I mean, the offense is there, Dan. They have the weapons.
Oh yeah.
They have the weapons there. They're totally fine. And what they've done, let me ask you this: how do you feel about their defense, Dan? Now, they got rid of the head coach. This dumb idiot goes to the Dallas Cowboys to be the DC now.
Oh,
Eberflus.
their coaches were. I think
Yeah,
it's. I think they're better off, to be honest.
yeah, and he comes to Dallas, Dan. I'm not very happy about that one. You know what I
I mean, they
mean?
gave
Like,
up 21.8 a game last year.
uh,
It's not 37 touchdowns. It's not terrible.
but
Their defense wasn't terrible.
Dan, the one thing that sticks in my mind, the game where the idiot on the fourth down against
Yep.
it was the Commanders. What you do in a practice field, Dan, is what you do in a game situation, and that goes to me that the head coach doesn't give an F about what the hell goes on the field, Dan. You
Well,
know,
it's like the head coach was kind of lost in like a deer in the headlights of that situation,
but Dan, you're a
and
head
lost his
coach. You should
job. He should have.
He should have
You
been
know.
fired. He should have been fired right after that game, Dan, honestly, because Dan, we talked about it. Number one, your players out there waving to the crowd 30 yards off the ball when he should be in a dime situation down the
Yep.
end zone, number one. And number two, Dan, we talked about this. We said it so loud, screaming this. You never let a defender get behind you on a Hail Mary. You bat the
Absolutely
ball
not.
down.
Yeah.
And what did he do? He got in front of him, and this son of a bitch tips the ball, Dan.
I don't know. Some better coaching, more discipline. I think they'll be a better team.
I agree. I think they'll be a lot better this year. I like their defense. I mean, Dan, the biggest thing is they got Grady Jarrett from the Falcons. They bolstered that defense as well. I mean, they're doing
Yep.
really, they're grabbing some people out there. Grady Jarrett is a solid defensive end. I think he can contain that outside.
Yeah, Grady Jarrett. You also got a
Montez Sweat too.
Odeyingbo.
Odeo, yes, exactly, on the defensive end. Yeah, you got a solid front four.
Odeo, Grady Jarrett.
Mhm.
Yeah, a lot in the offensive line. Let's see.
Dexter,
Duvernay.
yeah, Duvernay, yeah, exactly.
Zacchaeus is a good
Mhm.
piece. They got Jordan Jackson.
Yeah, yeah,
There's a good Thuney, the other guard, Dahlman, the center.
yeah, yeah,
So
100%.
they're trying to address their offensive line for sure.
And they even picked up the tight end Durham Smythe too from Miami too. That gives them another weapon too, because you got Cole Kmet and Durham Smythe. I mean, that's two good tight ends. And the best thing is, Dan, if you have two good tight ends, and your offensive line is not containing the way they want, you might want to put a double tight end there to run that ball too,
Yeah.
to give Caleb a little bit more time. But I think they bolstered this offensive line really well. I mean, they got Tune, of course, that you said, and also Dahlem as well as center. Two staple pieces, two starters for the last 4 years, without injuries. I think it's a great, solid pickup for the offensive line. Now it's just, what is the new head coach going to do? Is he going to work around Caleb? Is he going to take the leash off of Caleb? Is he going to let Caleb be him? Because I think Caleb could be something, Dan, if you protect him, number one.
I think so. If you protect him, yes.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And he says the Bears needs offensive tackles. I mean, hey, their offensive tackles are okay. I mean, their downfall is Braxton Jones on the left side. I think they could go there, but I, I don't know if they go there. I honestly think, Dan, which, what, we'll talk about their draft picks.
They picked number 10.
Number 10, I think Christmas in April for them would be Ashton Gente. I think they go someone like that. A big back that can help, Caleb Williams, even though with DeAndre Swift too, but still.
But then the second, they have the 7th and 9th pick.
Exactly. They have, they almost back-to-back picks. Exactly. You're 100% right. Yep.
They have the 3rd pick and the 8th. So they have a good amount of picks in the first.
Yeah, I mean, 10, 39, 41, Dan, you're getting 3 players in the top 40 here, so
Yep.
let's just say they go offensive tackle. Maybe they go Will Campbell, going out of LSU. Maybe they go him
Yep.
if he drops the 10, and then second
10,
round,
yeah.
at 39 or 41, you can get that Omar Hampton, a Trayvon Henderson from Ohio State. You can go and get that big banger if you
That's why
want. But
you go defense too. They have a lot of good receivers to deal with in that division.
Jared has lost a step or two. Now I agree with that too, but he's a big upgrade from what they had last year. That defensive,
Better
was
than
giving
what
up
they
a lot of
had.
yards.
That's all.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, it's an upgrade. It's an upgrade. Definitely is.
Drafted best defensive player at 10 too.
Yep. I think the Raiders take John. I do agree with that. I said that.
I agree with that. I can see that.
Yeah, 100%. I think they do need that because they're gonna run with Geno out there. So you might as well go get the big running back. They don't have the weapons, so might as well go get the running guy. So I agree with that 100%. But yeah, I mean, Dan, how do you see this team playing out next year? Because it's new head coaching, it's new scheme, it's new verbiage, everything's new. They built the offensive line. Caleb Williams is going to learn this. I don't want to call a sophomore jinx because he can't be any worse than he did this year. So how do you see them this year, Dan? Are they going to compete in arguably the toughest division in the NFL, the NFC North?
I don't think they'll compete to win the division, but I think they'll be a better team. I think they can win 7 games.
Seven games. Okay.
I mean, I don't think they could be any worse. They were 5-12 with a bad coach.
Well, yeah. I mean, with the coach, a better coach, I'll give them 1 or 2 games maybe because there was some bonehead.
They may be the same. They may do the same. They may be competitive, but I don't see them doing much in that division. I think the other teams are better than they are.
Yeah. Eddie says the Bears will probably be last again.
Level above.
Yep.
Yeah, Eddie says probably be last again.
Yeah, I agree 100%. I think they'd welcome
6-11.
Wow, Dan.
Yes, 7 wins like that, maybe.
Okay, I'm gonna give him a little bit of credit here. I think just
at most 7.
Okay, I'm gonna give him a little bit of credit because you gave me the stats there. 68 sacks this year. I think with what they have, Dahlman coming in, Tooney coming in. I think that O-line's boosted up a little bit. So I'm gonna go. I'm still gonna say this is the best division of football this year and next year as well. I'm gonna give the Bears 8 games next year, Dan. I'm gonna go 8-9 next year. I'm gonna go 8-9.
Would surprise me.
And still, I mean, going into the draft, I mean, 3 picks in the first top 41, Dan. Those are plug and play guys as well. So I'm curious to see what they do. But where do you think they go, Dan? You think they go offensive line first, even though they boosted it?
Offensive line, or defense, like an edge rusher or linebacker.
Wow. Okay. I mean, if they go linebacker, there's wow. Eddie knows the guy I'm going to say. We talked about him last night from Georgia coming in. I think he's a solid linebacker. So yeah. Well, what do you do with Keenan Allen? I mean, do you re-sign him because he's a free agent out there? I mean, injury prone, Dan. I mean, he could be a depth guy, an insurance guy. Yeah, I didn't see what he's asking for, but nobody's picked him up yet.
At 10 too, if you like them.
Eddie says John Taylor left tackle, Walker. Okay, there you go. Yeah, I don't know what they do. I mean, the offense is there, Dan. I think you run
tackles there. I might take him
if he drops, though, right? If he drops,
yeah, of course.
I mean, the only offensive guy that I could think about, maybe, Banks, I really wouldn't take because he's not going to fit. He's not going to fit unless you're going to take out.
McMillan won't be there. McMillan's there. I'd take him, maybe.
So you would go back-to-back wide receivers with your team last year going room, and then you would take McMillan. But he's not going to drop that far, Dan. He's not going to drop
that far. That's why I think it's going to be offensive line or defense.
Eddie says take a wide receiver in the second round. I can see that too because you're going into the wide receiver room here. DJ Moore, Roma
second round picks.
And Olimi Zacchaeus, he's been around the league, and I know this guy because Zacchaeus, yeah, I remember him. I seen him at prep one year when I went back to Philadelphia, watched him play as a prep guy. So their wide receivers are okay, but how do you feel about Duvernay coming in, Devin Duvernay?
It's a good depth piece, I think.
Okay, agree there. I mean, you really want to go into your team with 5 wide receivers, and I think if they do get a solid wide receiver, because Zacchaeus is really going to be that slot guy, I think, in this one here, Dan. I think DJ Moore and Rome's going to be the outside guy. If you can get a bigger piece on the outside as well, maybe a burner like a Bolden or a Golden, someone like that, I think that would be pretty solid for this team.
And you got DJ Moore, Dunzi, Zacchaeus.
Yep. And Duvernay. That's really the only ones
Duvernay.
Tyler Scott. Torrier is not the greatest. Not solid
So if,
name out there.
if there was just one high on their board, they liked them to take them at 10, but I don't know if there are going to be many
Agree.
worth taking at 10.
Agree. 100%.
Maybe.
Yep, I agree 100%. So you got to you're going to go 6-11 next year, Dan. That's before the draft, of course. We'll revisit it.
I'm going to say 7 and 10.
Okay, I'm going to go 8-9. That's even before the draft. I think they can. I mean, Dan, 3 players in the top 41. I mean, those are plug and play players. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Best available players. So I kind of like that. I'm going to stay with 7 and 11 for next year. So. All right. Well, let's move up the ladder here, Dan. Now, they had 3 teams in the playoffs last year. How about we talk about the Green Bay Packers here? You start with the Green Bay Packers. How did you feel about last year with the Green Bay Packers?
I thought the Packers had a really good season. They had a great season with McKinney. Obviously, had a great season, but I thought the Packers did well. I think maybe you expect a little more of them. Love didn't have the best season.
Yeah.
Season like they did previously, but that's okay. I thought the Packers had a solid year. Maybe a little disappointing, but I think they're definitely got a good backup. They got they found their star in Jordan Love. Jacobs is a great sign. He had a really good year last year.
Yeah, huge year.
15 touchdowns, 4.4 carry, 1,300 yards. I still think they could use another weapon.
I agree.
Another wide receiver. But I thought they played well. I thought McKinney had an outstanding season last year. But maybe if you're a Packer fan, you hope they did a little bit more. They went a little bit further. But I think they're well on their way.
Yeah, I agree. I think that the biggest signing for them was Josh Jacobs, of course. Coming over. He was everything to them, out of the backfield, running the ball. What you said, 4.4 a carry. That's pretty solid. And you're going against, Minnesota's top defense, Detroit's top defense, and you're still arguing, 4.4 yards a carry, which is great. But, as we said, Jordan Love missed, I think 3 games, maybe possibly 4 games last year. That goes a long way, too. And they were really in the back half of the season, Dan, when you're trying to go get that momentum, to carry over. But to me, one of the biggest downfalls was their wide receiver room, Dan. Jaden Reed, Romeo Doubs, and Christian Watson, who got hurt as well. They, to me, I don't want to say underperformed, Dan, but I'm going to say that word to me. They underperformed this year. I thought they would be a lot better. Those 3 wide receivers, 3 top-notch wide receivers, Dan, they really didn't show me what this offense could look like, honestly.
No, I thought Tucker Kraft was good. Reed, 57 yards, 6 touchdowns. I mean, you expected more of Watson. You had Dobbs.
Yeah, I mean, Dan, there was games where Dobbs wasn't he wasn't even looked at, Dan. There was like quite a few games where he had 0 targets, Dan. 0 targets, To me, when you got a running back, when you have a running back like Josh Jacobs, Dan, you got to spread that ball. Everybody's keying on Josh Jacobs in the box. You have 3 wide receivers, pick your poison, basically. But there were games where they didn't even look.
Yeah, Dobbs has 72 targets. Watson 53. This is all year. Reed 75. Watson 53. Kraft had 70.
I mean, your tight end's getting 70 balls with this offense. I understand he's the 4th option too, but still.
Wicks had 76.
Who's that?
Wicks.
Who the hell is Wicks? Oh, the backup wide receiver. Okay.
Yeah, he had the most targets of anybody.
That your 4th wide receiver is getting more looks.
5th, statistically speaking.
5th, okay. Emmanuel Wilson's probably ahead of him, right? It might be him or Bo Melton or some one of those 2 guys. I forgot who the hell it was, but yeah, that's kind of bad.
Melton had 17 targets.
Okay, so he was a low man on the totem pole. Okay, all right. But how do you feel about their defense, Dan? I mean, the Green Bay's always had a solid defense,
Their defense is their secondary. McKinney had a hell of a year.
Yeah. Xavier McKinney played a hell of a year. Of course, I get that. But
8 interceptions, but also 8 sacks.
Yeah, he played great. The guy that really I think is the future. The guy I think is the future is Edgerrin Cooper. I think Edgerrin Cooper is going to be solid for them coming into the season.
Had a really good year.
Yeah, I think he's the staple piece. I think to me he's going to be I want to say he's going to be like the
sack.
Clay Matthews and AJ Hawk kind of guy. That's who I think he's going to be. You know, that kind of.
I
that
like
kind
their
of production.
defense. I mean, the defense is somewhere they should probably go
Mhm.
in the draft, but I really would want another weapon, like a
Agree.
legit wide receiver. Maybe one of them will you know become the number one, like Reed or Dobbs or or Christian Watson. I'm not really sure.
Well, didn't Christian Watson's didn't he aggravate his ACL or something? Because he missed the entire
But
back half of the season too. I think it
he
was.
played in 15 games.
Okay, because I thought he got hurt though. I thought it was.
I
'Cause
think
I
he
don't
did
think he
get hurt.
played.
Dobbs
Yeah.
got hurt.
Yeah. Okay.
He got hurt. He missed a couple games. Dobbs missed 4 games.
Yeah. Michael Pappers saying, "What's going on, Michael? How you doing?" And he answers it. Didn't Watson get hurt or? I thought Dan said he played 15
hobbled.
games. He was hobbled. Okay, because I thought he
really
really
played the game and sat out the rest of the game.
okay. Because I thought he really got hurt. He was an ACL or something like that. Because I think it was like the last game of the season it happened. Yeah. But I think they're good. Yep. So how do you feel about Dan? Do they take a flyer on a quarterback? Because Jordan Love, you got Malik Davis, Dan. I mean, and Sean Clifford as your backups. I don't believe in Malik Willis. Okay, I don't believe him.
Backup. I don't see him taking the quarterback. Not first round anyway.
No, not first round. Maybe late, Dan, because they're at 23, 54, 87, 124, 159.
Later in the draft, maybe.
Okay.
But not anywhere early in the draft now.
Okay, no, I see that too.
I think they like Willis.
Okay. I mean, now here's who they lost. They lost Eric Wilson. They lost Josh Myers. They lost T.J. Slater, Eric Stokes, and A.J. Dillon, another running back there. So they're okay. They didn't lose big pieces. Eric Wilson's a nice linebacker. He goes. The crazy thing, he goes through the conference, Dan. He goes to the Vikings. You know, he goes to the Vikings. He goes to the Vikings there. Now they did add. They just added. I think it was either today or yesterday. They added Miko Hardman from the.
McCall Hardman, Aaron Banks, 4-year, $177 million deal. The guard, Isaiah McDuffie re-signed, and Nate Hobbs.
Nate Hobbs, the corner they signed. That's a good addition with them
and they
too.
Re-signed McManus, the kicker.
Yeah, Brandon McManus. Yep. How do you feel Miko Hardman's going to fit into this, Dan? I mean, with the Chiefs, he's a puzzle piece.
If he stays healthy, I think he's a nice piece.
Okay.
In the receiver room for them.
I think so too. I think he's going to be the slot guy, the speedster, because if you put him,
the receiver room is bad. I just think they're like a bona fide, like number one legit.
Yeah, I mean, if I'm the QB, if I'm the QB coach or wide receivers coach, I'm saying, hey, listen, we have a stacked wide receiver room here. We're bringing in Miko Hardman as well. Yeah, so we're a solid 1, 2, 3, 4. Hey, it's just run your routes. Whoever gets the ball gets the ball. Let's play as a team. Because to me, I never really use the word wide receiver by committee, but this could be a wide receiver by committee, Dan, because nobody wants to take that one spot, that alpha spot on this team at all.
No, it's just like I said, the number one, I think Level had a better season than he had last year.
Yeah.
He had the best season. He had a better season the year before. But they just need a couple pieces, and they'll be right back in it. They can be right back in the playoffs.
Agree. How do you see them moving to this year, Dan? I mean, what do you see with this team going into next year? I mean, hey, they made the playoffs, Dan. They limped into the playoffs, but how do you feel? I mean,
I think
3 teams.
I think they could win the division if they play well enough.
Really? Wow. Okay.
I think they're not competitive, but like I said, I think they're still the third team in the division. You don't know what Minnesota's going to do.
That's true. That's true. So you're giving are you giving them a 3-game jump from last year, Dan? From last year, the record this year?
I think they could win 13 games.
Wow.
Oh, they won 11.
You're right. You're right about. I mean, 2 games is something, but I want to
stay healthy. If Love could stay healthy, their offense would play well. Their defense is solid, but I still think they're the third best team in the division. I don't know if I can say that. It might be number 2 because Minnesota has McCarthy, and I don't know how he's going to play. How they're going to be.
It's just funny that you said that, Dan. Like, it was so funny. I just laughed at myself when you said, I think they can win the division, but they are the third best team in the division. It means like, okay.
Last year they are, but
But I mean,
probably the 4th best quarterback in the division now.
Well, here's the thing. I mean, we're going to talk about the Lions and the Vikings nest. Yes, they
Yep,
lost a lot of people. The Bears,
we'll
the
talk
Packers
about that.
they really didn't lose a lot of players, Dan. And with the draft here, you're sitting at 23, 54, and 87 at first three. You can go out and get best player available, the weapons that you need. I kind of agree with you, but I'm not going to put them at a. I still think they can. I don't think they win the division, but I think they possibly could fight for the 2 spot. And I think it's going to be fighting with Minnesota because I think Minnesota took a huge step back, Dan, with everything they've lost, honestly. You know what I mean?
I agree. I think they took it because you know how they're going to be at that quarterback position stability wise.
Agree.
I just don't know how they're going to be.
Agree. Foster Covers checking in. He does the Bears County podcast. Hey, Foster, thanks for checking in. You just missed it. We just talked about the Bears opening the show, but I know you're watching. Let me know where you're going to go. What I want to hear from you, Foster, if you can, let me know because you're a big Bears fan. You do the podcast there. Let me know where you're going to go 10, 39, and 41. We talked about it, 3 players in the top 40, basically. Where are you going to go? Are you going to go? I want to see what he wants to do. Does he get another weapon? Does he get enough weapon? So we'll see. We'll see. But appreciate you checking in. Mike says Green Bay is not winning 13 games, Dan.
Maybe not. That's a tough division.
It is. So the 3 losses that Green Bay,
a playoff team.
Yep. So the 3 losses that Green Bay predicted, you have them losing. Now, do they lose to a conference or they lose out of conference this year, Dan?
I think half their losses will be in conference at least.
I think they do split with Minnesota and
the Lions.
The Lions. I think that is a split there. So yeah, I definitely. So you got 2 more losses.
The Bears, maybe.
Yep. Michael Perry, remember that they have a new OC. Yeah, I mean they do as well, but
they do.
We will see.
I still think they'll be good.
We will see. Yeah, I'm going to go 11 wins last year, and you're a wild card team. You know what I mean? That's craziness.
Yeah.
You know what? They didn't lose a lot, Dan. Their offense is great. Jordan Love, Josh Jacobs, Reed, Dobbs, Watson. They didn't lose a lot. I mean, they can pick their poison here, Dan, to build in the draft. So I'm going to go. God, I really want to boost them up to 12, Dan. I'm going to stay
9 and 8, but I think they're going to be 11, 12 wins.
Yeah, okay. I'm going to stay at 11 based on what they do in the draft, Dan. I want to see that 23 and 54 pick. I want to see that.
12 and 5.
Okay, you got 12 and 5. I got 11. I'm going to go 11 and 6, same as last year. So that's where we got the Bears. Or the Bears earlier, and then the Green Bay Packers. So let's go into another team here, Dan. Let's talk about Detroit Lions. Dan. Let's talk about this team.
You want to talk about the Vikings first?
Well, didn't the Vikings win the division though, based on seeding stuff?
No. I thought okay.
I thought it was the Vikings. They got the first seed. I thought they did actually. But either way you want to go, it don't matter to me. I don't care.
We'll talk about the Lions. It's fine.
Lions, okay. All right. How about starting this off, Dan? Okay, last year the Lions. Okay, God, talk about we talk about St. Louis Rams being one of the greatest shows on turf, Dan. This team on offense, Dan. My God, I mean, I've never seen a team, Dan, that throws the ball under 100 yards and puts up 40 freaking points in a game, Dan. I've never seen that in my life.
They averaged 33 a game last year. The Lions.
But, Dan, they showed you ways to win that you didn't think about. Jamar Gibbs, David Montgomery runs crazy, and Jared Goff only throws for 100 yards and puts up 40-some points a game, Dan. And then next week,
Gibbs had 16 touchdowns. Montgomery had 12.
Yeah, 28 touchdowns out of your backfield, Dan. God,
Goff had an unbelievable season.
But Dan, you look at his
guys with 1,000 yards.
Yeah, and Dan, you look at Goff's
touchdowns, 7 touchdowns. That's crazy. I mean,
and here's the thing, Dan. You look at Goff's numbers, and he really didn't have. You look at Goff's numbers, Dan. He really didn't have to perform in the third or fourth quarter. They blew so many teams out where it's just hand the ball off. We are up 30. We don't care. Dan, there was 3 games that he threw under 125 yards in 3 games. Just imagine if he actually had to throw the ball with these wide receivers, and they're stacked, Dan. Amon St. Brown, Jameis Williams, and they just signed Tim Patrick. He's a good re-signing. Sam Laporta.
Offense.
What's that?
loaded on offense. They don't
Yes,
need
loaded,
running backs. Their running back
loaded.
room is fine. Their wide receiver room is loaded.
Hmm.
They have a good tight end.
Agreed. Oh, I'm sorry, I can put it up there. Walker, Hampton, Cameron Williams of the Bears, 3 picks. Okay, so he's got a running back going the second round, Omar Hampton there. Michael says he's got the Bears 10-7, Green Bay 11-6, Vikings 11-6, and Detroit 12-5. I mean, I could see that, Dan. I could actually see that happening though, and
Yeah.
it could flip. It could flip too. The Bears could be 11-6 with with the way they're drafting and how they're building the offensive line. If they hit,
they've had some nice pieces.
yeah, if they hit on the offense, I mean, in the draft, Dan, they could possibly compete. I mean, this division to me is a
I think
coin
it'll be
flip.
one of the best divisions of football easily.
Again, I agree. Yep. Mhm. The Lions have lost the best O line in the NFL. I don't think they have the best O line. It's solid.
I think it's very solid. I think it's good.
Yeah, it's solid. I don't think they have the best though. Honestly, I mean, Taylor Decker. Yeah,
31 sacks. I mean, that's
Glass.
not bad.
What is it? Glass now, Rack now, and who's the other one?
I do like their offensive line.
And I like the red tackle, Penny Sewell. He's a nasty dude, man. He's a nasty guy as well. So yeah, I don't think they're the best, but I'll put them up in top. I'll go top 3, solid wise.
Jack Campbell had a good year for them too. They drew a draft pick, a linebacker.
Yep. All right, Foster checking back in for the question here. I'm open, Jonte. If Jonte drops that far, because I don't think he will to you, tackle, defensive end, defense tackle, or trade back. Who is there? Answer my questions, for the second rounders. Yeah, I agree. He really wants to trade back between 14 and 19. You know what? Here's the thing, man. Foster, I'll throw something at you real quick, okay? I'll throw something at Foster really quick here. You guys are sitting at 10, okay? If you drop to 10 and 14, if you drop there, what are you asking for? Because you're not going to get a first rounder from a team if they're going to jump up 4 or 5 spots. Maybe somebody from 20. Rounder. Yeah, maybe something from 20 coming up. Because if I'm the Cowboys, Dan, I'm actually looking. If the Raiders don't take Jonte, I'm actually looking for myself to move up in that 7, 8, 9 spot. You know what I mean? To get Jonte away from some teams because I don't want the Bears to get him. I don't want the Bears to get him at 10. So I got to go 7, 8, 9 and jump the Bears to get Jonte.
Maybe
that could be a situation there. I would love to do that. He says not KC and the pick unless the guys they want is there. No, I agree 100%. I mean, it's going to be. You guys have 3 players in the top 40 that you can regardless of take. The O-line, only O-line as good as the Eagles. The Eagles are superior to me. They're still the number 1 offensive line to me, no matter what. The Lions is a beast. The Lions left. Oh yeah,
exactly. Yeah.
You're talking about Taylor Decker, Michael?
Yeah.
Okay, Taylor Decker. I think the right tackle is even better. I like Penny Sewell. I love that guy watching him. He is a freight train waiting to happen. He wants a late second or early third round. Okay, you know what? Here's the deal. I might give you, if my player's there, I might just give you my 12th. We'll swap picks. You move down to 12. I move up to 10. I'll give you a third round next year. I'll do that. Yeah. If my player's there. If my player's there, I'll do it. But then how do you feel about Aiden Hutchinson? I mean, listen, he got hurt. He was arguably like a TJ Watt specimen for this team. He got hurt early. Do you think they go defense, Dan? I mean, he's coming off a bad injury as well. Do you think they maybe go
defense? Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
It'll be late, but I think they go defense.
Okay.
I think that it could end up being all right, but he had a bad injury.
Mm-hmm. Now
will be effective.
Now, how do you feel about this quarterback room? I mean, Jared Goff here. Now, your other quarterback is Hendon Hooker. Okay, Tennessee still coming off the ACL injury. Dan, we know what he can be. He's a good quarterback if he projects healthy wise with that knee. Then they did sign Kylan Allen. That's their backup that they signed from the Steelers. He's going to be the 53-man guy. Dan, he's not 54. He's not going to dress unless it's emergency. We know that.
Tyler Slow, whatever how you say his name. Yeah, there's a couple of guys. There's a guy from Nevada. I forget his name.
Okay.
There's some guys you could probably take as a backup.
Okay. Now they did a lot of re-signing this year. They did sign a lot of players in trades or free agency. The biggest to me was the biggest re-sign is Tim Patrick. The way he played, when Jameis Winston went down, he played great out there. To me, that was a great pickup for me. I love him as a third wide receiver. The other one was Dan Skipper. We all know Dan Skipper with the play. You know,
Yep.
the what was it? The what do they call that, Dan? Jesus Christ. He didn't check in, bullshit like that. We
Yep.
know what happened there. But yeah. Oh, Michael said there it is. Michael says Penny Sewell, I meant. Yeah, he's a right tackle. He's
Yeah.
actually the right tackle. He's a right tackle. Yeah, he's nasty. I mean, they did a lot of signings. Now
re-signed Penn O'Connor, re-signed Davenport.
Now they did sign
Lopez. Go ahead.
Well, I'm sorry. They did sign 2 corners. Then DJ Reed and Rock Ya-Sin comes over. You know, that's going to boost.
A good signing.
He is. I think it's a solid signing because you know they did lose Carlton Davis. You know, he's a corner. Now the big one I thought they lost, Dan, was Zaria Smith, their defensive end.
Yes.
You know, I thought when they lost
Smith,
yeah, that's to me is the biggest loss of the year for them. You know, I mean,
so maybe you try to go out to replace that loss with a pick.
You think about it,
later tail end of the first round, but still, you still get some good players there.
Yeah, I mean, you think about it. You know, Aiden Hutchins is going to come off the injury. He's still going to be fine coming off that left end in there. But then, you know, you lose that right guy, that Darius Smith coming off the right end. And then, you know, it's not a downfall, but it is a downfall when you got Josh Pascal coming in for, you know, a Ladarius Smith here. I think they might go defensive end, but I mean, at 28, Dan, you're picking best player available, right? That's left on your board, right?
Yep. Those side Derek Barnes, linebacker.
Okay.
To an extension.
You know, if they go linebacker, if they get a solid linebacker, you match him up with Jack Campbell in the linebacker unit. It's pretty nice.
They should look for Pierce from Tennessee.
Mm-hmm. Oh, you're talking about James Pierce Jr., right?
Yeah, James Pierce Jr. Imagine he fell that far. I doubt it, but he's
well. You know what? They are saying that his arm length is. Yeah, they're saying that Pierce is going to drop maybe late first round, Dan, because there's something about his arm size and the way he looked. They're saying he might drop because a lot of teams are looking at him between 25 to 32. You know, a lot of teams are thinking about that.
I like him. Like I think he's very talented.
Yeah, I love watching him at Tennessee. I think he is going to be a little higher than what people have him right now. I think he's probably going to be between that. I don't think he drops to the 20. Yeah, Reed was definitely a good pickup. Definitely was.
Rock Ya-Sin, I think, was drafted a couple of years ago.
How are the Lions at left tackle? I missed a lot of free agency for the team. Their left tackle, the Lions left tackle is actually, who the hell is it? Oh, Jesus Christ. What is his name, Dan? Decker. Taylor Decker. Taylor Decker's their left tackle.
Yeah, they're fine. I think
they're fine. They're fine. I mean, he's solid. You know,
I think their offense is set, to be honest.
Yeah, their offense is set. I mean, they don't really have to do anything on offense.
Defense, I think, is what they should address.
Mm-hmm. Now, they're only 3 unsigned players, Dan. I'm going to give them to you here. Teddy Bridgewater, who coached high school football, won a state championship last year. He signs with this team just as a backup security blanket, okay? Just in case. He signed like a $1 million deal to come over. He hasn't signed with them.
As a backup.
Oh, yeah. He's not going to overperform Jared Goff. But to me, I don't think they sign him again because Hendon Hooker is still the rookie guy for me. I think because Kyler Allen is going to be that clipboard 54 guy. I don't think you bring in Bridgewater to play the gap.
No, I don't think so.
Mm-hmm. Now, what about Allen Robinson? He is a wide receiver that they haven't signed either.
I don't think they need to re-sign him, to be honest.
I don't think so either. I mean, I like their first.
I think their receiver room is pretty good.
Yeah, and even their 4 wide receivers, Khalif Raymond, I kind of like him as well. I mean, unless you sign Robinson. Yeah, unless you sign Robinson for an insurance guy, you know, just in case, you know.
But sign a guy or draft a guy. You know?
Yeah, I mean, hell, God, if you want to score 60 points a game, go out and get a wide receiver at 28. There's going to be some available, you know. Eddie says Smith didn't too much.
Their offense is going to be good again, so I wouldn't be worried about their offense.
Yeah, I mean, I understand, you know, Darius Smith didn't do a lot, but I mean, what I'm saying is he's a big upgrade from what you have now, you know, playing from Josh Pascal. That's what I mean, you know. Mm-hmm. That's why they cut him. I get that. Plus, it saved $10 million on the cap this year, too. You know, that was money-wise. Mm-hmm. The Lions can move up for Walker or Campbell. Yeah, but you know what? You're sitting at 60. Here's the thing. If you're the Detroit Lions and you're back at 28 and you want to move up, let's just say you move up in the top 10. You have no ammo to move up to me because you're at 60, 68 or 6. I forgot what it was, 60 or 68. You have 102 and 130. I don't want those picks for you to move up from 28 inside the top 10. And the biggest thing is to me, Dan, you are still a 12-win team every year in the NFL. I don't want
Yeah.
your pick next year because you're going to be in that 25 to 30 range. That means nothing to me. I want a pick that's going to be in the top 10 next year. So you have no ammo for me to move up in the top 10. You call me, I'm putting the phone down and saying, not going to happen. Not going to happen. You know, not even your first round next year, Dan. Not even.
Yeah, definitely not. Yeah, they're 28th.
Mm-hmm.
You know, 28th in the second
No
round,
need.
38 in the third round.
Yeah. You got to give me a first round pick in the top 10 next year, and you are not going to be in the top 10 next year. So
I don't even know what they have. Yeah, I don't know what they have next year.
yeah. Well, next year you think,
Top
okay, if
20 probably.
I don't even think they're
Because
top 20. I think this team here, the Lions, the way they're built, I think they're going to be one of the 4 teams remaining in the NFL. So I think they're going to be between 27 to 32, Dan.
yeah,
Next year.
late first round. Yeah.
You have no ammo to talk to me for a trade to move up in the top 10.
Nope.
You have no ammo unless you want to give me, hey, you know what? You want Will Campbell? Shit, give me Jamar Gibbs. Give me one of these guys. That, it ain't going to happen, Dan. I know that, but you got to float my boat a little bit. Make my mouth water a little
And
bit.
they're
You know what
not
I mean?
doing that. Gibbs, Montgomery, that 1-2 punch.
Oh, I know.
When you have the St. Brown, Jameson, Williams, and Laporta.
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah. They are good. Even when Montgomery went down with that injury, Dan, I tell you what, Gibbs.
They're loaded, man.
Man, Gibbs is just out. To me, Dan, he is the next Alvin Kamara to me. Running the ball out of the backfield.
1,400 yards,
Yeah.
16 touchdowns on 250 carries.
Wow.
And 517 receiving yards.
So he had like a 2,000-yard season, didn't he?
And 4 more touchdowns. Yes, almost.
Amazing.
1,900.
Wow, you're freaking loaded. God, man. Oh, just imagine if they went out and got a weapon again. Another weapon. Yeah, exactly. Nope. And the downfall for him, Dan, when he came out of Alabama, I want him for the Cowboys. We did the draft. And I said I want Jamar Gibbs. Oh, he's a reach. He's not a reach, but his downfall coming out of college was he's too light. But Dan, my thing is you can't tackle what you can't catch, Dan. You know what I mean? Oh God, I would love to redo that draft.
Pounds, but man, he's
lightning, man. He is. Mm-hmm.
But the Lions, I think they'll see if they did their window is now. Let's see if they did.
Yeah.
A little further. It's what. They're a win now team. They're a win now. They're in win now mode.
Okay.
And
I agree.
Let's see if they could get to the promised land.
Oh, man.
That's what they're thinking about. They want to win a Super Bowl.
I tell you what, Lions fans, man, yeah, the promised land. I mean, hey, you make the playoffs out of some 0-16 seasons, but the promised land is what you're looking at now. But Dan, I mean, what do you think this year going into this 2025 season before the draft?
They're one of the favorites.
Where do you put them, though? I mean, you got the Bears finishing last. You got the Packers possibly competing. It's a 3-team race.
I think the Lions will win the division.
Okay. Do they take a step back record-wise, Dan?
No.
Okay.
No, I think they'll win 14, 15 games again. I think they're that good.
Oh, God damn,
really? Good, man. They're that good, I think.
Oh, God, that's not
win
good.
That division.
I think they do. I mean, we're going to talk about the next team in a second here, but
I don't see them taking a slump with 10-7. No way. I think they're too good.
And the crazy thing, they lost.
They have some catastrophic injury. Like, no way.
What one injury could you see? To me, it's a Jared Goff. To me, it's a Jared Goff. Yeah, agree, 100%. I agree with that 100%. God, Dan, you got them 14-3, possibly, huh?
Yeah.
Based on what they've lost, Darius Smith is the biggest name they really lost, if you think about it. Okay, Carlton Davis, another corner, but they brought in 2 corners, Dan. DJ Reed's a solid, guy to fill that spot.
Out of the park of the draft, too, and be even better.
And even at 28, you're still going to get a guy that fits your system.
They're winning at least 13 games.
All right, Dan, you know what? Oh, God, Dan. Man, this is crazy. I'm going to agree with you. I'm going to go 14-3. They win the division next year. I'll go 14-3. Detroit Lions. God, 14-3, Dan.
I say
I wish I could say my team was going 14. You're going through. I'm going to go 14-3. I think they could actually sweep the Vikings this year. I think they
The
could
Vikings
split.
are not going to go 14-3.
No,
No way.
I think they sweep the Vikings because what we're going to talk about what they lost. I think they can
Yep.
split. They can either sweep the Bears or split. I think they do split with the Packers. So that to me right there is basically 4 wins in the division. And the thing is, you and here's the crazy thing, Dan. Next year's schedule when you play, I didn't even look at the scheduling, but the Vikings have the tougher schedule in the whoever they're playing in division wise. The Lions have the 2-2 schedule, which helps them out as well. So you're playing the team that missed the playoffs in that last year, basically. So that gives them a couple of wins. I'm going to go 14-3, Dan. I'll go 14-3 here. God, man, I wish my team could go 14-3, bro. God, man.
God, 14-3.
God. I'm bitching about going 7-10, Dan. 14-3. God,
teams have been like that in a long time. Holy shit.
tell me about it. Tell me about it, Dan. God, man. All right, well, let's get to the team here, Dan. Let's talk about the last team in the Minnesota Vikings here. Won the division last year, basically the number 1 seed in the NFC. Shit the bed, Dan. They basically shit the bed. Sam Darnold comes in. He blows everybody out, looking like the MVP possibly. He gets to the playoffs, Dan, and I don't know what the hell happened. He took a glimpse back in Carolina because he seen ghosts that game, Dan. He seen ghosts. What the hell? What the hell happened? Great season all the way up to the very end, Dan. All the way up to the very end.
You thought it was going to come sooner or later with Sam Darnold, right?
Oh,
Sooner or later, you thought, where is that team? He's gonna rear its ugly head. And unfortunately, it did at the worst time for the Vikings, obviously.
You couldn't pick a worse game to have a downfall, Dan. In the playoffs.
Oh, of course not. Of course
number one seed, Dan, in the playoffs, and you have your worst game of your entire season.
I don't think it's as bad as losing 41-0, but
yeah, I get that. But Dan, you go 14-3 and you get bounced when you could be, arguably the favorite to come out of the NFC, Dan. Favorite to come out.
They have good weapons. I mean, Aaron Jones had a really good year for them.
Yeah.
Jefferson Addison had a good year. Hawkinson did well. Their defense was solid.
Agree.
Now they only have JJ McCarthy on their depth quarterback. It's the only quarterback they have on their whole roster.
Well, let's talk about it. Hey, listen, Sam Darnold's gone. He's a new Seahawk. I'm sorry. Sam Darnold's gone. JJ McCarthy coming off the big injury. You basically put everything in his basket last year, thinking he was going to be the starter last year.
Weapons.
He did. Well, he does have weapons, Dan. Going back to last year, they drafted JJ McCarthy, where a lot of people said, "Oh man, that's too high coming from a guy that doesn't throw the ball. He's a game manager." We looked at the system. Jefferson, Addison, can he get the ball downfield? Has the injury. They go out and get Darnold. Darnold's gone. Daniel Jones is gone now too. He's to the Colts, Dan. But Dan, what is your philosophy going into this season in a locker room? You're Justin Jefferson, Addison, okay, Aaron Jones. What are you thinking as these players saying, "Oh shit, do we believe in JJ McCarthy?"
They might. I don't know. I really don't know how he's in the locker room. But I think they might be okay. I think they should see it as an opportunity. Try to work with him, try to get in sync with him, and see if see what happens. I'm interested to see how he does. I'm very interested to see that, and that they show that they're confident. They show that they're going to be behind them. By like, all right, everything is yours now, kid. So let's see how he handles that. The first challenge of running the doing the mini camp, doing all that all that stuff. See his leadership can show.
Right.
If he can show some leadership, then I think they'll follow along.
I don't think the leadership's going to be an issue. Coming from Michigan, there, he was a 5-star athlete.
He's always been good at that.
Yeah, he's a good leader. He's a good guy in the locker room. He's a stand-up player. He never throws the players under the bus. He takes ownership, which I love to see. Even as a rookie, I like that. But one of the good things about this, Dan, is there really is no film on JJ McCarthy in the NFL. So you really don't know what you're going to see. I mean, we always say when you come into the NFL, you can either light it up or you can shit the bed. It can go either way, but there is no film on this guy. What does his downfield ball look like? How's he going to manage the system? You have the weapons at wide receiver. You have a good running back, Aaron Jones. You have it. They went out and got Jordan Mason from the Niners this year for a 5th-round pick. He's going to probably arguably start, this two spot with Tyler Chandler. So you got a good running game. Your
Put 'em
offensive
in a
line
good
is good.
situation, right?
Yeah, exactly. You're in a good situation. But what do
The only
you do
quarterback
here?
they got, I don't know. They're just gonna roll with it and see what happens. I think.
How
I
fast do you
definitely
how fast do you
I,
go quarterback, Dan? How fast do you go quarterback here? Just in
not in the.
case, Dan.
I wouldn't. I don't know if I would go in the first round. I mean, it's gonna be late in the first round.
Well, you're hitting at
I
24. You're at
I
24.
I, I
24.
don't think at 24 you're gonna. I think you're gonna take another quarterback, another player that can maybe be an impact player, not a player that's probably gonna sit on your bench.
Okay. Man, I'm going to jump really far ahead here, Dan. I'm going to give you my 24th pick for the Minnesota Vikings. This is going to be not only because we're on out of the box, I'm going to give you my out of box prediction here. 24, they go. The Vikings are on the clock. They take the little ticket up there. Mr. Roger Goodell comes up there and he says, with the 24th pick in the 2025 draft, the Minnesota Vikings select quarterback out of Syracuse, Kyle McCord.
Be an interesting pick.
Dan, think about this. Has he at Syracuse? He didn't have a Addison. He didn't have a Jordan Justin Jefferson.
Yeah.
He has the weapons and a running game, Dan. This is where he needs to be to get that ball downfield, Dan.
Yeah,
this is
it
where
would
he is.
definitely be an interesting pick. Where's their second pick?
Now here's the thing. If they want a quarterback, they have to take him in the first round. The reason why they have no second pick, Dan.
Yeah, they have those.
And they don't have a fourth round
picks.
Yes, they have a first round pick.
Picks in the draft.
Yep, and then 97 they have, and then they don't have a fourth round pick. So they're at 24, 97, 139, 187, Dan. So if you want that quarterback, you got to get him now. You got to take the quarterback.
Having that many picks, I don't think they're going to waste it on a quarterback. I think they're going to take someone that can play right away at 24. That can plug a hole.
Okay, here's the thing.
It's tempting, though.
It is tempting. I mean, it is a reach to take McCord at 24. I get that because Dan, you lost a lot of players. You lost, but you added some players too. You okay? I will go through the players you added, but here's an interesting one. Okay, if they go with JJ McCarthy, do you take a flyer on Mr. 99-year-old Joe Flacco? What do you think?
As a veteran, I would bring him in. Yeah, why not?
As a backup, why not? Right?
As a backup, yeah.
Okay.
Be a good mentor for McCarthy.
So so let's say at 24 you go different position, linebacker, DN, wherever you want to go. You take a spot there, you don't fill it. Second round goes around, all the quarterbacks are falling off the board. The third round at 97, you don't like your quarterback. Are you okay going into the season really with just JJ McCarthy, but we don't know what he's going to be, and a Joe Flacco? Are you okay with that?
No.
Me either.
No, I at least want a guy in there. You can take an undrafted guy, a guy late if you want the other many picks, though. Or sign someone like Flacco and just roll with it.
Agree. Michael says we didn't get to the players they added yet, but yes, they and Jonathan Allen and Jake Hargrove as well. I mean, that's two solid guys on the defense there. I mean, that's solid pickups. Yep.
And Rondell Moore to a 1-year deal.
Yeah, and the biggest one to me was from the Texans, Jeff Okudah, the corner. I love this kid playing.
Got the guard Will Freeze.
Yes, you're right.
Will 100%. Freeze, which is a really, really, really good signing, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And Hargrave signing, Freeze.
Mm-hmm.
Mason's a good signing. They obviously re-signed Aaron Jones. It's a good deal.
Mm-hmm.
I think that I think offensively they're in a good spot.
And to me, Dan, they've uploaded
Isaiah Rodgers.
Yeah, they've upgraded to me 4 starters on the defense there. Just like Michael said with Jonathan Allen there and Jason Hargrave. Also Jeff Okudah and Isaiah Rodgers could be your slot guy. They've upgraded that defense
there, so I trust him
100%.
I think their defense 100%.
And he says the Vikings didn't take a quarterback in the first 3 rounds. Well, they ain't going in the second round. We know that. It's either going to be 24, 97, 139, 187. That's your only 4 picks.
With not that many picks to spare, I think take another quarterback would be smart, but I don't know if it's the wisest move. If they have no quarterback, maybe.
I mean,
but I don't think it's. I think there'll be other players there that are going to have higher on their board. That's all.
I mean, to me, Dan, right now, I do agree with you. Move. Okay, I do agree with you because this division is stacked. I mean, you can have 4 teams possibly win this division. I get that. But to me, this team is young, with a young QB. I mean, Justin Jefferson and Addison are still so young. Hawkinson's not an old guy as well. They're young, but to me, you want to compete in this division because you went 13-4 last year. You want to showcase what you have. And this is where I agree with you too. Go out and get the players that you need because only 4 picks in the draft, Dan, and you're looking at 139 and 187. They're going to be position players that's probably a bench rotation. Your only shot is 24 and 97, Dan. That's it.
Yep.
So go out and get the best player that you can. I agree with that. But, man, I see. I'm just not sold on J.J. McCarthy. That injury that he had, man, he couldn't even walk for like 4 months, Dan. You know what I mean?
And McCarthy might be there in the 3rd round.
Okay. Michael says they take a linebacker. I mean, their linebackers are Jonathan Greenyard, Ivan Pace, and then Blake Cashman, which I do like Cashman. I think he's a solid guy. And they Luke Van Ginkel
in the draft.
And I like the guy Luke Van Ginkel. You know, he looks like the Clay Matthews out there with his hair flying. Yep. You know, I like him too. I like their linebackers. I don't think they go linebackers because their linebackers played pretty solid last year. You know, let's see. We got how about the Bears trading back into the 1st round? I mean, well, the Bears, I mean, they do have ammo, don't they? I wrote down their draft picks as well. They're sitting at, well, you know what? They actually could. Dan, let me just go retract here. The Bears have 10, 39, 41, 72, 148 in the top 5 rounds. You know, let's say they take 10 here. They get what they want. Dan, do you package your 39 and 41 to jump back in the top 15? You give your both 2nd round picks to move back in the top 15? That's something I might do. That's something I might do.
On your board, somebody you didn't think would drop, maybe.
Hey, listen, Bears. Hey, Foster, if you're still listening,
past the top 10, 15, you start looking at the players that dropped. You didn't think we would drop. Like, oh, we should, would be giving up a couple picks to be worth it to move up for this player.
Dan, I tell you what, if Foster's listening, if Foster's listening out there, Foster Cover, you're listening, you have any connection to the Bears front office, tell them, watch what I'm getting ready to say here. Bears, you want to move back into the top 15? You give me your 39 and 41, I'll give you my 12th pick, and I'll take your picks. You know, I'll drop back. Yeah. I'll drop back. Hell yeah. Move 2 spots, get 2 2nd-round picks still. When I need a lot of position players, I'll take it. I'll take that. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Michael says the Vikings can get lucky. I don't think Campbell's going to drop that far, though. He is not dropping to 24, though. He is not dropping to 24.
They would have to trade up to get him.
He's got to be a top 8 pick. He's going to be top 8, maybe top 6, depending on where people go. Because to me, the biggest person that set the tempo of this draft is going to be probably going to be Abdul Carter, most likely, and Ashton Jonte. Where they go, it's going to push the draft a little bit back because
Travis Hunter.
Yeah, Travis Hunter as well. Yep. But these guys are top 6 players to me. That's why I think Campbell does not go.
Abdul Carter, I don't know, man. Campbell, but not going to fall that far.
So 24. Yep. Michael says Flacco is proven with house money. No, I agree. Listen, hey, he doesn't ask for the big contract.
Be a good move.
You know,
if they did that, it'd be a solid move for them.
To me, honestly, Dan, I think Joe Flacco. Yeah, I think Joe Flacco outperformed Anthony Richardson last year in a lot of games. You know, the way he threw the ball. You know, I agree. Yep. I like him. I like him as a backup. And he's a solid starter if you want him to start with this team because he has the weapons, Dan. You're not asking him to go out there and be, Superman. You know,
as a run game.
Yep.
Will Freeze, maybe their offensive line should be solid too.
Eddie says the Vikings should upgrade their O-line. I mean, I think their O-line's pretty damn good. I mean, you got Christian Darrisaw on the left side. He's a nasty guy. You go to your center.
So Bannis wouldn't be there either. It wouldn't fall that far either.
The only guy that maybe I could upgrade is the right tackle, Brian O'Neill. He was injured a lot. I would probably upgrade there, but at 24, maybe that's the best available spot you do go to. I would be okay there, but
definitely the best player available position in the draft.
Yeah. I mean, at that point, at 24, you're going to go best player available. If your need's there, your need's there. If he falls, fine. But if not, you're looking at best player available in that category there, And he says Bears trade their 2 2nd-round picks for the Vikings for 24. Bears trade their 2 seconds for the Vikings. To me, I'm
moving up further than that.
I got to move up farther than that, Eddie. To me, listen,
15 or something. I'm going to the teens.
You know what? If you want to move up to 24, if you're sitting there that far back and you want to give me both of those, I'll take that. I'm stealing from you right there. But to me, with those second 2 rounds of 39-41, I'm thinking about giving you my 11th to 15th pick. I'll let you move up that far for me. But You give me 2 rounds from my 24 if I'm the Vikings. Hey, I'll move back. Because I gained an extra pick, Dan. I gained a pick that I lost in the trade for who was it, Dallas Turner last year. That's how they lost it. I just gained an extra pick for dropping back 15 spots, and I gained an extra pick. Any day I'll do that. I'll do that any day. Hell yeah.
Yeah, makes sense.
Lucky Day says, hello, Dan. What's going on, Dan? Lucky Days. All right. So, Dan, Dan, God, how do you feel about this team, Dan? Listen, they got a lot of players, 4 starters on the defense, but to me, this big question mark is, Dan, that QB room right there. One quarterback in the room right now. One quarterback.
Yep, just like us. We got Danny DeVito in the room.
I was going to say who's the better off, J.J. McCarthy or Danny DeVito or whatever the hell his name is. But, yeah, I got to give McCarthy.
Fire Danny DeVito into the sun.
Yeah. Dan, why did they get rid of Daniel Jones? Why do you think the Vikings got rid of him, knowing that Sam Darnold was going to be, traded? Why did they get rid of him?
No idea. They must think he really sucks or something. I don't know. He's Indianapolis Colt now. And if he takes
Richardson's job,
he's going to be gone. Richardson. I'd laugh so hard if he still takes his job. Oh my goodness gracious! Even funnier if they went to the playoffs with Daniel Jones too. It'd be even more hilarious.
If you lose your job to Daniel Jones, Dan, that you might as well just retire. Honestly, right?
Might as well pack it in, buddy.
Oh my God! Oh my God! All right, where do you think they end up, Dan? I mean, a lot of people, thinking this team can be okay with J.J. McCarthy. We're talking about it here. A lot of upgrades on defense. Rondale Moore comes in. Oh my God, 9-8.
Yep.
Holy shit! 9-8, 13-4, all the way down to 9-8.
You think J.J. McCarthy's going to play as well as Darnold?
Hey, Dan, listen, if Sam Darnold can take you 13-4 when nobody projected that, Dan, okay? You know what? I gotta give
them one more. I'll say 10-7.
See, I'm trying to build it up here, Dan. I'm trying to throw my points out there so you at least take me up to 11 or 12 here. But
no.
Dan, the defense, you don't have to score points, Dan, because this defense upgraded so much.
At the quarterback position. I don't know. If they got Flacco in there, I'll give them 12.
Okay, so you're gonna give Flacco
McCarthy, though.
Okay, so you're giving me 3 wins with Joe Flacco over J.J. McCarthy, right? From 9 to 12, right?
Yeah, 2 or 3 more, yeah.
Okay, now let me go back, Dan. Now, if they throw it out of the box here, and if they go 24 and they shock the world, like I said, because I'm gonna clip this. If they do it, they take Kyle McCord. Kyle McCord competes, and they put Kyle McCord in here. With this offense, as a rookie, where do you give Kyle McCord? What do you stand with him with wins, Dan? What do you give him?
7.
Dan, really? You're going to do my boy Kyle McCord like that? A 7? You're giving J.J. McCarthy 9, and you're giving my guy Kyle McCord 7?
No way.
We've seen what he can.
No way he's winning double-digit games for McCord. No way.
Dan, come on.
I don't know about that.
Oh, would it be worse if they would have kept Daniel Jones over Kyle McCord? Say you give Kyle McCord 7.
Yes.
If they would, Kyle McCord would be better.
Yes. I think so. Yeah.
You do not like Daniel Jones, do you, Dan?
I think he's not bad.
Oh my God.
One day I would have stuck up for him, but he was that bad last year.
Oh my God, Dan. All right, so you got 9-8 for the Minnesota Vikings.
10-7.
All right, so we got that extra game there, 10-7.
J.J. McCarthy's just started the whole year at 10-7. Yeah.
10-7, man. Man, Dan, see. All right, you got 10-7, 13-4 to 10-7. Got to think about it. J.J. McCarthy's your starter, coming off the injury.
So I think he'll give a couple games away as a rookie. He'll have those rookie games where
okay.
3 picks, he'll lose the game. Throw 4 picks, lose the game.
So you're saying some rookie mistakes, huh? Rookie mistakes are going to cost them, right?
Yep.
All right. He has the weapons. Aaron Jones. You
He
think about those
does.
guys. Justin Jefferson, Addison, Jalen
Just
Naylor
can't
coming
tell you
over.
how McCarthy's going to play.
Yeah, Rondale Moore coming in. He could be the slot guy. Hawkinson's still nasty. The offensive
They
line
have
is
good
good.
weapons, yeah.
They have
Oh,
the
yeah.
weapons, but can JJ McCarthy just go back to his inner?
That's what I'm saying. I don't know.
Oh God,
And if McCarthy goes down, he's the only quarterback you have that is worth anything. Then what?
that's why you get Kyle McCord, Dan.
And then what if he sucks too?
He's not going to suck. He's a St. Joe's prep product, Dan. He doesn't suck. He'll never suck. Okay.
Oh my God! Never know.
All right. You know what? Okay. I'm believing you. I'm on the Dan. I'm on the
Maybe.
Dan boat here. I'm going to go 10-7 because to me the biggest question mark. There is no other question mark on this team except for JJ McCarthy. I'm going to go 10-7. 10-7 this year. I got to go there. I agree with you, but JJ, please give me like a Sam Darnold sighting last year. Show me what you can do, please. Please. Just show. If Sam Darnold can do it, damn it, you can do it. Okay? Come on. You know? Got a couple comments. Part-Time Marks, one of our great shows on the network here. You can check them out every Tuesday night, 10:30 p.m. right here, talking NXT, WWE. Check them out. And their slogan is, it's time to mark about it. So you better tune into them, and it's time to mark about some WWE. Dan, now this one here is directed right to you. The Giants are trading for Anthony Richardson. And you're welcome, Danny. How do you feel about that?
That pissed me off.
Dan, but he's better than DeVito.
If he's our backup, okay.
Wait a minute. You want Anthony? Wait. So if Richardson comes over,
if we trade DeVito for Richardson, okay.
You're not going to get that straight up trade, Dan. You know that.
I ain't giving you good assets for Richardson. That's all.
Okay, what would you take? What if I came to you, Dan? I say, hey, Dan, listen.
I'll give you my 3rd round pick, number 99.
For when did Richardson go in the draft last year? What did he 1, 2, 3? Where did he go in the draft last year? Or the year before, 2 years ago? He was top 3, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Wow, man. God, you're 2 years ago, 1, 2, 3 player goes.
I might give you number 3 this year and like 2 and a 1st round pick. No way. I can't do that.
Why don't you sign Joe Flacco?
I have no idea. Because they have someone else's mind. I have no idea. I have no idea.
Shedeur Sanders.
Maybe. Might be.
Are you okay with that? Are you okay with that?
I'd be okay with that. Yeah.
Shedeur Sanders or JJ McCarthy?
JJ McCarthy, but that's unrealistic.
Well, I'm just saying, put that name out there. So you would take JJ coming off the injury if that was available for you. You would take JJ McCarthy over.
For if it was possible, yeah, but
they're not going to get rid of him. No. Michael says if JJ waited and came out of the first draft, he would be the first pick. Yeah, because he came out a lot early. I mean, they lost soon as what's his name?
4 or 5.
Yeah, as soon as McCarthy said, he's gone.
McCarthy
he's going back.
Top 5.
Yeah,
this year's draft.
Soon as Harbaugh said he's going to the NFL, the whole team just quit. Corum came out early. A lot of players came out.
Yep.
But if JJ McCarthy had a solid year last year, but Dan, here's the thing: Michigan lost so many damn players last year. They were not what they were last year, the year before when they won the title. So I think his draft stock would have failed a little bit because Harbaugh's defense with the DC mentor Rob Mentor.
If he was there without Harbaugh, that would have been different for them.
A lot different. So I don't think he would have been a top. I would probably say he's a top 5 quarterback, but a lot of weapons lost on that team. So yeah. Let's see where we at here. Eileen says, "Oh, where'd he go?" Eddie's about to get the band hammer with that talk. So you're gonna give him that? You're gonna hit him with it? You hit him with the gavel? You go ahead. You got him. The Jets trading for Kirk Cousins. Why? Why would you do that? I mean,
he's just being stupid right now. He's a Cowboys fan, so
that's what I see. We got the little banter back here with him and Eileen here. You're welcome. Yeah. Oh shit!
But this one in the box over here is also a Cowboys fan. So
who's that? I know. I'm a Cowboys fan. Yeah, I know. Eddie's a Cowboys fan. I know. What's that one run through there? Now here, what about that one right there? About Joe Milton there. What do you think about that one? We could trade you Joe Milton.
Who is that?
Joe Milton's that big quarterback out of Bama.
Who is Lucky Days?
I don't know. He mentioned you. He knows you.
Giant fan.
He knows you, right?
Maybe it's Bo Sox. Maybe
he knows you because he said, "What's up, Dan?" earlier. He knows you.
It's Payne.
Okay.
Insane with pain.
Lucky
Yep.
are you, Joe, or insane? Okay,
Yep.
there we go.
It's a Patriots fan.
Gotcha. Let's see. If Richardson is traded from the Colts, does that mean Daniel Jones is starting quarterback? Well, you know what? If
Yeah.
he shouldn't be traded because he should just be cut, as we said. Because if you lose your damn job to Daniel Jones,
Yep.
you know what? You might as well just go to the Cleveland Browns and play quarterback there because
He'll get made
you're
fun of
done.
forever.
No, Eddie,
He'll be the
Boston
laughing
Celtics.
stock.
That's bad if that happens. God, that's bad. Oh. Hey, Celtics. Yes, McNeese State just kicked Clemson's ass. And Dave Yarnell, if you're freaking watching this, that is exactly what I mean. The ACC sucks other than Duke University. So North Carolina, you know what? Yes, they win 21 games a season, but they beat nobodies. Look at Clemson. They're getting beat by an 11 seed as a 5 seed to McNeese State. Don't
right.
talk to me about that crap.
That's right.
Yeah, I took McNeese State plus 11, and I won that outright. So we're good with that. We are good with that. That's fans, Celtics fans.
Yeah, Celtics.
Gotcha. Okay. All right. There we go. All right. So Dan, you have the winner division being Detroit Lions going 13-4, right? Duke does not suck. Okay. They're a Final Four team. They will be in the national championship. The thing is,
Elton Brand went to Duke. We had to deal with him in high school. Elton Brand.
Oh, did you really?
Oh, he was good in high school, man. Elton Brand was beast in high school.
Where do you go in New York?
Peak skill.
Oh wow. Okay. Yeah, no really Duke players when I watched them. The only player that I watched going out of in Philadelphia, out of Simon Gratz High School, was actually Rasheed Wallace that played at North Carolina for years. You know,
yeah, but we'll see what the Vikings do.
We'll see
what happens with their quarterback situation.
I mean, they better hit it right, Dan, because they only have a 2 and a 4, you know, or 2 and a 3. That's all they have, Dan. And then you're going all the way to the 5th and 6th. So, you know, you better pull a needle in the haystack and get a great player because you ain't got players to fill a spot here. But all right, so you have the Lions 13-4, right?
Yeah.
Okay, and then you have God, you don't have the Vikings out there. You shit the bread on the damn Vikings. You kicked their ass right out of the damn contention here. So are you going to go? Are you going to go Packers at what 11? You said right. You had Packers at 11 or 10, I believe 10.
12-5.
Wow. Okay. So you got the you got the Lions 13-4. You got the Packers at 12-5, and you have the Vikings
at 10-7.
10-7, and then you got the Bears shit in the bed, basically winning 7 games this year or 8 games.
Yep.
Wow. Okay. So you flipped. Okay, you flipped the Lions. I agree with you rankings wise. I do think the Vikings take a downfall. I actually think the Vikings finish last in this division. I'm going to go Lions, Packers, Bears, Vikings this year because I do not believe in J.J. McCarthy. I do not.
Neither do I.
I do not do it. Prove me wrong. Give me a Sam Darnold moment. If you do that, totally fine. But I just can't see it, especially going into the draft here with one quarterback on your roster and you have Flacco out there. You have some QBs out there that can give you a couple wins and you're not doing shit for it. You know what I mean? Let's see, a couple comments real quick. Eddie says, Eddie, I heard the Cowboys are signing Aaron Rodgers. You are welcome. Eileen, you have now been banned from the network. No more comments from you. If that shit happens, no way. No way. I take Rodgers. I don't take Rodgers because to me,
I would.
He's not what I need with the Dallas Cowboys because of the fact that he's a diva. And when you have 2 idiots like Rodgers and Jerry Jones running your show, no. I'd rather – who's going to take Dak Prescott's contract? Who's going to take his contract? Nobody. Dak has a history of getting hurt. I get that too, but once again, either way, you're stuck with it for the next 2 years at $45 million salary cap for the next 2 years. Nobody's going to take that contract. Go out and get freaking go. I'll trade you for Danny fucking DeVito. How's that? Okay. You can trade for Joe Milton. I'll take Joe Milton as a backup rather than Aaron Rodgers because, hey, listen, you're talking Joe Milton, $4 million top hit. That's fine with me. I'll do that.
Yeah,
I'll give him a 5th for Milton. 5th. I mean, I'll give you a 5th for Milton as a backup.
So would I.
I like Milton's. I love his arm. Did you see that? His throws? I mean, he's throwing 65 freaking yards in the air.
Oh, yeah.
You're right, Eddie. Will Greer sucks. Ever since he came out of West Virginia, the dude sucks. I agree with that 100%. Will Greer. Will Greer is your backup quarterback.
I remember saying when he's come out in the draft, I remember the debate.
Yes.
Will he suck? Will he not? Well, he went to West Virginia, so.
Exactly. He was a mountaineer, like, come on, man. It's you know what? No. Will Greer he's a practice squad guy, but right now he's QB2, he's QB2.
Oh no.
He's QB2. He's QB2. But before we get out of here, guys, I do want to shout out our sponsor really quick. Let's do that real quick here. Guys, if you're in any need for any legal advice, please reach out to 1-800-HURT-123. Attorney Jason Fine, Big Al. Motor vehicle accidents, slip and fall, workman's comp, personal injury claims, 3 convenient locations throughout Pennsylvania and New Jersey. Cherry Hill, New Jersey, 3 Greensward Lane, and in Philadelphia, 1628 JFK Boulevard, Suites 2120. Pittsburgh, PA, my neck of the woods, 500 Grant Street, Suite 2900, high in the sky in Pittsburgh. Reach out to him, 1-800-HURT-123. Mention Out of the Box Sports Entertainment. As always, no recovery, no fee. And guess what? When you call, you're part of the family. We take your case, no recovery, no fee. It is 33 1/3%. You find me another lawyer that's going to give you 33 1/3%, and I will. You know what? I will give you the. I don't know, maybe the shirt off my back if you want it. I don't know, but let's do it. And also, guys, here's our schedule for the rest of the week. We do have some shows coming up tomorrow night. We have the Silver and Black Raiders at 9 a.m. with Ken Fry talking about the Raiders, what they're going to do at number 6. Are they taking Jonte? Are they taking a McMillan? Who do they take if he drops? Where do they go? And also tomorrow night, Inside the Octagon, talking UFC with myself and Josh. Saturday night, 9 p.m., the Atomic Drop podcast. And also, Dan, I think you have another show that was coming soon, but something's going on, right?
Oh yeah, Big Blue Power Hour will do it tomorrow, either before or after your Inside the Octagon.
Sounds good. There you go. Coming soon. That's why we always say make sure you stay tuned to Out of the Box Sports Entertainment. Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, everywhere we're there, YouTube, wherever you want to call us, we're there. You never know what shows are going to be popping up, so make sure you tune that out. As always, we appreciate all the live viewers out there. And the last 3 comments we have is Eddie saying, I was thinking Rodgers for 1 year. Okay, well, here's the deal. If you do that, you're paying Dak Prescott. He no-good contract. It's $45 million.
Dallas, that makes no sense.
No, you're paying Dak $45 million this year. Okay, he did some contract help for us, but he's a $45 million guaranteed spot this year. Rodgers isn't coming. Rodgers is not coming here for a 10 to 15 million.
And Dak in the same freaking locker room? No way.
But Dan, you think Rodgers is going to take a discount coming here for $20 million 1 year? He wants that $35, $40, $45 million deal, even for 1 year, Dan. No way you can pay.
He knows Dak would be over his shoulder. He's not going to take a backup position.
Exactly. I don't. And plus, you know what?
Doing that.
And plus, you have an offensive line that's in shambles right now, still trying to pick where you're playing. You have one wide receiver with really a committee running back. Do you really want Aaron Rodgers, who has no mobility at all, playing quarterback there? No,
nope.
Not me.
Nope.
Not me. No way. He says no to Rodgers. Hell, I'm not even giving him 1 year on mine. Not even.
Yeah, for the Cowboys, it makes sense. For other teams, it makes sense.
Now, Dan, here's the name real quick before we get out here. I mentioned this last night on the Cowboys show. I would take Jameis Winston over Aaron Rodgers, okay? What do you think about Justin Winston coming down to your team, the New York Giants there? He was interviewing.
As a bridge quarterback.
He was interviewing.
Yeah.
Have you heard anything? Because I know we talked about he's interviewing there. How'd that go?
I heard that he was he had a visit with us, so that's all I heard.
Okay.
I know he didn't have a contract, but he's supposed to visit with us, or did. And I wouldn't mind Winston. It wouldn't be a bad move, I think. I'd say move to, for the future, but it's a move for a bridge.
Yeah. I mean, I would take him as a backup. He's going to be a cheaper guy, maybe a $10 million quarterback. I like him because you know what? He can still move. What he did at Cleveland last year, throwing the ball, had a great game. Yeah. Even, for my backup in case Dak gets hurt, I'll take Jameis Winston for 1 year. I'll do it. I'll do that. Hell yeah.
So Dan, what our quarterback situation is going to be.
Yep. So Dan, we have the draft coming up basically in 4 weeks here. So we're going to be, having one downfall week. Now we have to flip over to another division next week, Dan. Where are we going to go next week, Dan? We got to go AFC, right? Because there's only really 2 divisions left, correct?
Well, there's the AFC
North. We have
West,
the AFC. We have the AFC North too, right?
AFC North, NFC East.
Okay, so I guess we go AFC North next week because we have to give the consideration to the Chiefs and then, of course, the fucking Eagles, man. You believe that shit? We got to save them.
Then we're going to do the last 2 divisions. We're going to do the divisions that represent the Super Bowl. So Chiefs, Eagles.
You know what the good thing is, though, Dan? The last week of the season, the last week of the season, we're talking the NFC East, and it's kind of bad that we have to talk about our teams first as the bottom feeders of the of the division, but
those two divisions are better than ours.
yeah, right. Oh my
AFC North,
God.
AFC West, better than our division.
Yeah, I know. Like, oh man. But
Yeah, we'll
yeah.
do AFC North next week.
All right, sounds good. We'll do that. Last comment of the night. Give me Kurt Warner. Oh my God, you seeing Eddie? You need to stop, brother. Give me Kurt Warner out of retirement over Winston. Can he even still walk? Honestly, you know what I mean? Like, come on. Oh, I know he's only joking, but still. Well, shit. I said last night, bring back Quincy Carter then, because I wore his jersey on my show last night. Bring back Quincy Carter.
Eli out of retirement over Warner.
Yeah, I would probably take Warner. I would probably take Eli, man, because I did see him on TikTok throwing the ball pretty nice a couple of days ago. Actually, I would do that. I would do that.
Chad Powers. Yeah. Chad Powers.
Chad Powers. Oh my God, that is hilarious when I see that.
That will save us.
I've got 2 more comments before we get out of here, so we can get out of here. Bleep all FSU quarterbacks. Hey, you don't believe in Charlie Ward? I mean, Charlie Ward, even though he didn't play in the NFL, he went to play basketball with the New York Knicks. But
Ward, wow.
Remember Charlie Ward? Remember him? Heisman Trophy winner Charlie Ward. Put it that way. So, hey. The Bengals are not making the playoffs cause no defense.
I don't know, man.
Listen.
By game.
Man.
It might squeak in there.
But it's crazy, Dan. You know, I talk shit about the Cowboys having, you know, our big three, Micah Parsons, CeeDee Lamb, and Dak Prescott being over $110 million. Well, Burrows, Chase, and Higgins are $168 million a year, Dan. That's some shit. That is some shit. Yeah, that's crazy. That's crazy.
That is crazy.
Michael says, Uncle Rico, hell, you know what? By the way our team looks, I'll take fucking Uncle Rio next year because we ain't competing.
Uncle Rico,
we ain't competing. So, Dan, you ready to get out of here, man?
Yeah.
All right, guys. My name is Paul Spencer. That man right there is Dan Connor. This is the NFL Weekly Chat Talk, and we'll be back next week to talk about that division, the AFC North. A lot of trades, a lot of who's my quarterback, and we can definitely talk about that guy, Aaron Rodgers, because he is still in the lingo to go to one of those teams. So next week, AFC North. My name is Paul Spencer. That is Dan Connor. It's the NFL Weekly Chat, and we will see you next week, Thursday night, 6 p.m., and we'll see you then.